Welcome back to Money Matters. I'm Emily Johnson. Today we're going to focus on saving strategies for the new college grad. Study after study tells us that the key to achieving any financial objective is our willingness and our ability to save. Without saving, we can't experience the immense power of compound growth, and that really is the core of real wealth. So to illustrate this point, to illustrate the point of compound growth, I'm going to tell a little story that incorporates one of my favorite places in the world, Fenway Park. So imagine for just a minute, visualize if you will, that I have a magic dropper, like a magic eyedropper. And I take that dropper and I place one magic drop in the center of my left hand. Now what's magic about this drop is that it doubles in size every minute. So it doesn't look like much at first, I just have one drop, but after 1 minute or 2 minutes, that drop has become a tiny little puddle. And after 6 minutes or so, there's enough water to say fill a thimble or so. But now let's take this to another level. Let's take our magic dropper and our magic drops, and let's go to one of my, there's our magic drops, lots of them, and let's go to one of my favorite places, Fenway Park. Now let's say we take this magic dropper and we go right down on the field and we place one drop right there on the pitching mound. And then to make this story more interesting, let's assume that Fenway Park is watertight and that I'm going to handcuff myself to the very top bleachers right up here. So given that and the magic drop that doubles in size every minute, how long do I have to escape my handcuffs way up here in that top bleacher before all of Fenway Park is full of water? Now we ask this question at seminars and presentations and we get all kinds of answers. A month, a week, 2 months, 3 weeks, something like that. What's the real answer? The answer is 50 minutes, 5-0. So if we put that drop on the pitcher's mound at 12 noon, by 12:50, I, on the top bleachers, am going to be completely submerged in water. That is the power of compounding. But let's actually ask a little bit more interesting question. So let's say I'm up here in the bleachers and I'm handcuffed and I'm just casually sitting there looking at water starting to fill up the bottom of Fenway Park, but I'm not really worried. Because right now about 97% of the entire Fenway Park is not covered in water. Only 3% or so is covered in water. At what point in time during that 50 minutes is 97% of Fenway empty and 3% full? And I'm sitting pretty, not worried about anything in the world, maybe help's going to come. The answer? 45 minutes. So what that says is that 3% of Fenway Park fills with water in 45 minutes, and the remaining 97% fills with water in just 5 minutes. And that is really one of the key points that I want to illustrate about compound growth. Not just that, of course, it's exponential growth and is expanding at a rapid rate, but more importantly, that one of the main keys to exponential growth is that more activity happens at the end of the cycle than at the beginning, which is why it's all that more important to begin saving early on so that you can experience all the benefits of compound growth or of exponential growth, as you might have heard it called. So pretty interesting story, right? It's kind of amazing that you could actually fill up all of Fenway Park with one drop that doubles every minute in 50 minutes. Pretty amazing. But that example, while it does illustrate compound growth, obviously does not involve money. So let's use another example that does involve money, and I'm sure that you've seen examples like this before. Hopefully with this illustration it really drives home the importance of saving and the importance of compound growth. So here's our example. We have two individuals. One is age 25 and he starts saving $200 a month during his first job there when he's 25 years old. Then we have another individual, same plan, same interest rate, and he's 45 years old and he starts saving $400 per month. So our second individual is saving twice as much as our younger individual, and they're both participating in the same, let's say, 401k plan, and they're both earning interest at a rate of 9%. That's pretty darn good. You don't see that as much these days. So those are our two individuals. Which do you think actually ends up saving more? Client A at age 65 will have saved $884,000 towards his retirement, and client B, who was actually saving twice as much money but who didn't start until 20 years later, will only have $268,000. They've both invested the exact same amount of money, $96,000, in the same plan at the same rate of interest, but client A, because he started 20 years earlier and had the benefit of compound growth and compound interest for those 20 years, ends up with $620,000 more at age 65 than individual B, who started saving at age 45. So do you know what you'd like to do with an extra $620,000 in retirement? Because I think I do. So what is the key here, and what is it that we really want to drive home? Not just compound growth and compound interest and saving early and being willing to save early, but more importantly, starting early, starting as early as possible, even if it's $200 a month, starting as early as possible, $50 a month, is going to compound and become true wealth at a later date and help you achieve your financial goals. The next is set very clear goals, so that you know, is 65 the age that I'm looking to retire? How much money do I need to retire? Set very clear goals. Maybe it's not retirement. Maybe it's the purchase of a home. Maybe it's the purchase of a car. This concept applies to all of those types of goals. And then lastly, be consistent. Again, studies show more and more, if you can automate your savings, it helps you with that consistency and it helps you to stick to a plan. So those are the real key points that we want to drive home to our new college grads who are just embarking on their working lives and hopefully starting a strong savings strategy. So that's our show for today. I hope that it's been informative and helpful. We love your ideas. As I say, we are always inspired by your ideas, so please keep them coming, and we look forward to seeing you next week with more Money Matters.